Well, if we look at CO2 emissions, which is really the heart of the problem here, globally we emit around 36 billion tons of CO2 every year. Now, almost half of that, almost exactly half, comes from Asia, and in fact, around 45% comes from just 10 countries. So if we're going to address the problem of climate change and mitigate the worst impacts of it, then we've got to have a solution that focuses on Asia. Now, we invest in sustainable infrastructure in the fastest growing markets in Asia, and in those markets, we've got a fantastic combination. We have economic growth, we have population growth, and we have continued urbanization. Now, putting all those together, it leads to a big increase in the demand for electricity. And we see that renewable energy has got to be and will be the solution to that growing demand, because it is inexorable and it is certain, it's baked in. One of the few things that we can be absolutely sure about these days is demographic change. And Asia is going to add 650 million people over the next 25 years.
Nick, just to remind the audience, we've been talking for years, but mostly back in the old days it was FX, capital market stuff, and less of a focus on the green stuff because of where you've come from, ultimately at BNP and so on and so forth. Recently, there was an initiative announced with the ADB and a number of banks suggesting that one way to go would be for financial institutions to get involved in buying up things like coal assets and then mothballing or retiring them. Do you think that this kind of financial engineering of climate-related assets is the way to go here and should be encouraged and supported?
Well, I think, Jeff, we're already seeing that taking place. I don't think it's necessary for financial institutions to intermediate and then to mothball. I don't think that's necessary. The financial system is already doing this. It's very, very difficult to get operating insurance for fossil fuel power stations. And without insurance these days, in the age of litigation in which we live, it's very difficult for any business to operate in the absence of insurance. So we're already seeing the market moving to change the relative prices of energy. Now, it is the case, undoubtedly, that solar and wind energy is already cheaper in almost every country than fossil fuels. So the market is already working. It doesn't need more action to mothball it, because these plants are by their very nature uninsurable and therefore inoperable. And we will see them increasingly being mothballed because of the starvation of insurance and funds.